I think you should have more pop.
We're just postponing, right?
Not gonna make.
All right.
Postponing.
And you said on agenda?
It's locked in by the time you leave.
Off me, I'm the caboose, right?
Executive session.
Yeah, yep.
All right, so what do I,
So just your name, affiliation, as if you have any type of
We are Geneva.
affiliation or whatnot with the county or something on the agenda. And then you can provide your address, if not just a city, it's completely up to you.
Can you do that?
And then,
Bad one.
oh, it doesn't give you a topic line. Will you just write your topic, what you want to speak on today?
They should do like tornado possibility. Tornadoes come in.
Hello, everybody. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the board meeting. If I can get everybody's attention, please.
Just write down things.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Thank you very much. I'll keep the microphone close, and for all of our board members, because we've got people downstairs as well as quite a crowd here, make sure that obviously we put our microphones as close to we appropriately so we can speak comfortably and so that we can be heard. It is 4:03. It is Tuesday, February 27th. And clerk, could you please call the roll?
Ellen. Alan, present by Zoom if allowed. Good afternoon. Okay, thank you. Bates.
Here.
Berman.
No.
Sorry, no. Doherty.
Doherty here.
Davis.
Davis present.
Ford.
Board president.
Gums.
Gums here.
Iqbal. Juby.
Over here.
Kenyon.
Here.
Caius.
Vice President.
Leonard.
Leonard here.
Lewis.
Lewis here.
Linder. Molina.
Molina present.
Roth.
Roth here.
Sanchez.
Sanchez present.
Silva.
Good afternoon. Silva is here.
Strathman. Strathman here. Surgis.
Surgeon present.
Tarver.
Carver's here.
Debbie.
Here.
Okay. Williams.
Williams here.
Young.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Sorry, I was, can you please read out loud those individuals, board members who would like to attend remotely? And do we know the reason why? So
I have Alan, which I believe.
illness, I know illness.
Miss Ellen, can you state your reason?
Yes, I am dealing with illness in the family. Thank you.
All right. Doherty,
Sick.
same. Davis,
Davis is work related.
Iqbal was. Mr. Iqbal, you there? Linder, your reason? And he was,
Mr. Linder here, I don't see him.
okay. And we had Sanchez,
Sanchez is childcare issues.
Surgis,
Surgeon work related, and I'm having trouble getting my video to work for some reason.
you're having trouble with what?
His
Video.
Video,
Okay.
All right, well, just stay on the phone.
Madam Chair.
And is Mr. Linder here?
I don't see him.
I do not see Mr. Linder.
He said he was having some difficulty with his
Yeah.
Yes.
Wi-Fi, so he
So
would
when
try
you
and
come-
make it, but we.
Yeah, Mr. Linder, if you can hear me, when you come on, when you're able to get your Wi-Fi together, just let us know and we'll admit you. Okay, do I have your permission, consent, to allow all these individuals in? Okay, you're all welcome. Very good. All right, before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make you aware that we're trying to make this meeting as efficient and as quick as possible because there is a pending storm that is on our heels. We are under a tornado watch. We will be under a tornado watch. I was just told till 11 p.m. tonight. So I want to make sure that we get all of you safely home because we want to make sure you get all safely home. So we'll try to be as efficient as possible with this. This is a meeting that is going to be a continuation of the last 13th, February 13th meeting. So we're going to continue on starting with our resolutions and ordinances, but we will have public comment on items that are on agenda. I know many of you are here to speak about sanctuary counties. That'll be at the end of the meeting, and that is off agenda. If there is not order immediately, you will be asked to leave the room. If this is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking for order, please. If there's not order, I will ask you to leave. Please clear the room.
down once you say it.
All right, so.
Don't worry, take your time. You're right, the itinerary.
Mr. Ford, could you please honor us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
We are now going to public comment.
Prayer.
Where did public comment?
Invocation.
Point of order, we're in a continuation of a meeting. We ended on number 10. So we should be going into the resolution and ordinances.
We're going to be doing consent agenda. Yes, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Ms. Juby, we need to do public comment on agenda items before we move right back into where we were under the continued
I thought
meeting.
we did agenda. I thought we already did public comment.
Public comment will also be given and provided for today. So on agenda items need to go now, off agenda items go at the end like it's already under the agenda.
So are we going to be modifying the agenda?
We are not modifying the agenda. We're trying to stay within state compliance for allowing for public comment.
Regardless of whether it's a SHPRO or continued meeting.
Microphone, please. Close, please.
The Open Meetings Act requires an opportunity for public comment, the business of the board permitting at any reconvene meeting as well.
When we come out, have you speak with public comment, you'll have 5 minutes. I'd like to have your comments directed specifically to agenda items. If you go off agenda and start speaking about other items, I will ask you to move back to your conversations, your comments about the agenda item. So please just stick to your topic. It would be much appreciated. Brian Anderson, you're the first speaker. And this is a continuation of the last meeting.
Good afternoon. Brian Anderson, Sugar Grove, Illinois. I'm glad to be here today. What an amazing crowd. What an amazing overflow. Here for many different reasons, but we the people are here to speak to the board. Now, I'm here for the healthcare building. This is my third time speaking. I'm hoping that you have all reviewed off the Kane County government YouTube site and looked at the public comments. Every time I've spoke, it's been factual data points. And I encourage each and every one of you as we approach this potential decision-making to quote Michelle Gumbs, take a pause, redo, rethink, reevaluate. And this is one of the few times that when I've come to these board meetings, I totally agree with what she has to say. This is a big deal. Today, I'm going to talk about just some basic data points just to get us all refreshed. Kane County Health Department, we have already talked about that there's 2 buildings. I've been to the one in Elgin. It's open 1 day a week. There's signs up there saying, hey man, there are no services. It's been that way for 8 years, yet we have 95 employees. I wonder why. I was on the Kane County Finance today looking at the payroll. I'm not going to get into it, but we pay people a lot of money. The average salary for the average public health nurse is $58,900 per year in the state of Illinois. I just randomly picked here. We've got one 35 hours a week, 71, 35 hours a week, 66. We've got a surveillance practitioner. I asked my wife, who's a nurse, my daughter, who's a doctor of pathology, what a surveillance practitioner is. They kind of scratch their head. We're paying her 61 grand. So we're way above the average, but I digress. So I find it interesting in my line of work, I do a lot of research and I take a look at what a company is doing and how they market and how they communicate with their customers. You logged on Twitter 15 years ago. You have 3,000 followers. The last tweet was 2022. There's no sense of urgency. Nobody's saying, we need services. What's going on? Get ready for something new and exciting. It's not happening. Let me give you the flip side of that. Our Kane County clerk, we're very, very close to an election. They only have 604 followers. They tweet every day of the week. They're letting people know what's happening around Kane County. Even though maybe nobody's paying attention, even though there's only 604 followers, they're letting people know. 15 years, June 10th of 2022 was the last post. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Instagram, you got 138 people wanting to know what's going on in Kane County. Been on the website this morning. Kane County Cares Program. I've heard people tout it. Okay? They have an amazing video. It takes you right to the YouTube video. Astonishingly, only 114 people have viewed that video in 4 years. Once again, I hear the clamoring. Thousands and thousands of people need the services. No, they don't. You want to build a new building, okay? Now, from my perspective, I think we do need to take a really, really good look. How can we help those that are in need? Let's find a dead strip center. Let's go in with bare bones. Let's do it for 3 to 5 to 6 million. Commercial real estate is ballooning right now with opportunities. We certainly do not need 30, 40, 50 million dollars to build a new building when people are not clamoring for the services. Now, this past Saturday, and I won't mention the board member I saw at the event at the Aurora Library, glad to see her there. Our health executive director was there talking about this huge problem we have in Kane County. Well, we have 514,000, 515,000 people live here in Kane County, depending on what data. Yet last year, and again, I'm a compassionate person, but I'm also a realist. We only had 554 people hospitalized because of opioid addiction. Okay? That's not thousands and thousands and thousands. The bell is going off. It's time for me to leave. I'm encouraging each and every board member to take to heart what you're thinking about doing has long-term implications. Thank you.
Flo Bell. Flo Bell here. Kenneth Flo Bell.
Hi, my name's Ken. I live in St. Charles. Thank you guys for what you guys do. Lots of meetings and some work in between, I suppose, too. So I applaud you for your public service, asking for you to have real public service right now. I have some concerns as it relates to the mental health building. I'd like to just list those and then I'll leave. I'll try to do it in about 3 minutes. That's 60% of my time. I like to do things under budget. Debt financing. So you call it a grant, and maybe it's a grant, but it's borrowed money. The country right now is in debt, $31 trillion. That's $31 trillion that they tell us about. There's lots more that's off the books, like Lehman Brothers. But just the 31 trillion comes out to 930 billion in interest only at 3%. That's what we're paying. We're paying that. We're not paying any principal down. And now we're going to take this grant, which is really borrowed money from the central banks. So we're going to be further in debt. You're talking about a $30 million building. How will contractors' bidding process be held? Will it be made public? And will all contractors be engaged? Or will this only be for union? Will it be union, non-union? How will that process be determined? There's a tremendous loss of trust, particularly with the Dolton mayor now and finding out where the mismanagement of funds has taken place. Kane County is tapping into a $2 million reserves and using it for working capital, salaries, and benefits. That goes against all standards of best practices in financial management to use surplus. I would like to just reference that the second largest bank failure in history, the third largest bank failure in history, and the fourth largest bank failure in history occurred when? 1929? No. 2006, 7, 8? No. Last year. So while we have a bull market in the stock market right now, don't take your eyes off the ball. We have a surplus for emergencies, not for working capital. You're already tapping it, which makes me concerned about the fiscal responsibility of Kane County. When you're giving automatic pay increases, you've approved a position for expunging records at $246,000 a year. It was written up as one position. I've heard that verbally it was discussed as multiple positions, but at $246,000, that's a 68% increase over the state attorney's salary, which is the highest paid public person in Kane County at $168,000. So that doesn't make sense to me. But I do agree that we need something for mental health. Why? Men are being told that they're women. Women are being told that they're men. Our federal government is telling people to come in here illegally and break the law. Kane County is considering to tell people to come into Kane County to break the law and violate federal immigration. Yes, we need mental health, but we need to have our public servants go through the mental health process first and be licensed. That's all I have to say.
No, Frank Esposito. Frank? Mr. Esposito.
Thank you and good afternoon. I haven't been up for a while, so it's nice to see everybody. I would like to speak about the Health Department's new building proposal. I looked at the tape for Mr. Michael Isaacson's presentation at the beginning of this meeting. And if I've got my facts straight, he indicated that there were a little over 1,000 people that walked in to their facilities for services in 2023. In 2022, he indicated there were 307,682 assists, shall we say. But that included inspections of restaurants. Each one is considered one of that 307,000. I found someplace on the internet that we have in Kane County something like 1,737 restaurants. So that's occupying some of their time. He also indicated that the health department is not a direct medical care facility. They're not the doctor's office. They support those that are doing the medical work. He indicated there were something like 38 departments, and I projected, and I just heard another number for the first presenter, I figured maybe 50 to 60 employees, and he indicated something like 90, if I heard that correctly. It looks to me that what is needed is office space with a dock. That's what he requested. So I did some research. I'm not in real estate, but I can tell you that at 2340 Dean Street in St. Charles, there's a building supposedly with 11,403 square feet of office space. 2570 Foxfield Road in St. Charles, there's 14,657 square feet of office space. And of course, we got the Charlestown Mall just sitting there, vacant. Now, I'm sure that something is going on with it, but maybe that space could be utilized. There's no reason to spend millions of dollars on a new building, excuse me. I reviewed the Ernst & Young report that was prepared. They indicated set up teams to thoroughly evaluate the need and ramifications of a project like this. They also indicated there's something to be considered because this building will be co-owned by the federal government. What does that do in the future if we change our mind that we need to do something else? It looks like we're just trying to find a way to spend money. There's money laying around from COVID, but that doesn't mean we should spend it, okay? When I had a business, we couldn't spend money just to spend money. please give this project an in-depth review before proceeding. Thank you.
Severson, Claire Severson.
Good afternoon. My name is Claire Severson, and I'm from St. Charles. This is my first time speaking before you. My friends, neighbors, and coworkers have been telling me what's going on here in Kane County, and I find myself compelled to speak out. I understand that the sanctuary city issue is reserved for when the storm comes, but I can't not talk about it in connection with the health department building that's being proposed. They're connected. I'm very concerned with the board's decision to entertain the idea of Kane County becoming a sanctuary county.
That is off agenda, ma'am.
I am a Christian and I believe in helping my fellow man. Safety point of view, people coming across the border are not vetted. And I strongly believe I'm wondering if the sanctuary city issue is why there's a proposal to build a $30 to $50 million health facility that we need. What about staffing that facility? What about our school districts absorbing hundreds or thousands of new students who need specialized language classes?
Ann Erickson, please. You.
Yeah, I think it's time to clear the room.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your passion, but it's out of control. We're trying to have an orderly meeting. I would like to continue on with the next speaker, please. Thank you. Sir, do you want, who is that? Would you like to leave? Please, Roseanne, continue, please.
My name is Roseanne Erickson. I've lived here with my husband for 28 years in Geneva. We raised 3 children, 2 married, 1 still waiting to be married, and we have grandchildren. We love living here. And I thank you for letting me speak. I'm also a retired nurse. Healthcare, good health has always been a strong priority in my life. And healthcare is important to all people. The pandemic, when it came, it was sudden, it was chaotic, it was frightening. No one was prepared. But today, we have time to prepare. We have time to plan. We have time to seek out what our future needs are. But the construction of a building for a hub does not provide any permanent solution to accommodate the growth and the changing public needs. I'm not sure what it's going to be for, if it's immunizations or health education or social programs. It's not going to provide a permanent solution, but we shouldn't have to provide a permanent solution. We need to be flexible in today's world. It's risky. We need to be wise, prudent, intelligent about our healthcare decisions and costs going forward. Since the pandemic, mental health and behavioral health needs have skyrocketed. We're all aware of the issues of the opioid use, depression, suicide, economic woes and challenges. Again, use this money to support people, not a building. Seek out professionals, health educators, social programs, but support the people throughout the county. Invest in people and not a 48,500 square foot building. The negatives that I see with this is you want to make it more centrally located. I say bring services out to the people. It's going to be destroying more of the land for big buildings. We already have so many huge warehouses being built and huge buildings, and Kane County is beautiful with the land. I want to quit the building in that regard. The union ties to Madam Chairwoman for donors is not good. Possible need to pay back the $20 million if our needs change. There's a stipulation that if we don't meet all the requirements and the deadlines, that we need to pay that 20 million back. If we change the use of the building, we need to give that money back to the federal government. I don't think co-owning a building with the federal government is a good idea. Thank you. Increases taxes, we're all against, totally. Taxpayers' percentage numbers are decreasing and the percentage of people are increasing, not taxpayers, people. So do not ruin our health by burdening us with this oxymoron of a healthcare building. Thank you.
Sanders here, Sue Sanders.
Thank you, Kane County Board, for your hard work. I know can't even believe what you have to put up with. My name is Sue Sanders and I've lived in Kane County for 40 years. I'm a committee precinct person and try to gather facts for citizens in my precinct. I also had something to say about sanctuary cities, but a very different twist than probably everyone in here. But I'm not going to speak on that right now because I'm respecting what the rules are. So I'm skipping down here. There were two pieces of disinformation that were sent around, flyers that were sent this past week. One stated that the Kane County Chair wants to repay her union donors with a $50 million building. The fact is, the mental health, we need mental health services, restaurants need to be checked, and potential different kind of health issues that are ahead. We need a building for that. The building will be no more than 31 million, 19 million less than the disinformation that was spread. It would be built on property owned by the county at 38 and Peck. It was purchased 40 years ago to centralize all the buildings onto one campus. The current building was built in 1940, nearly 85 years ago. It has mold in it and not safe for the workers. The new building has funding set aside. No bonds or tax increases will be asked of the citizens. A very far cry from 50 million that the citizens would be responsible for, according to the disinformation flyer. Yes, tradespeople would be used to build the health department building. It makes sense to follow the RBO, responsible bidder ordinance, that says a contractor bidding on a public project must follow safety regulations, prevailing wage laws, and apprenticeship program participation before awarding a project. This would ensure the $31 million building would be built properly. In summary, I'm in support of the building, the new health department building, using qualified tradespeople. And I'm not going to finish what I was going to say in my other part of the summary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I believe we have time Mr. Roth, are you keeping track?
I am. We are currently at 19 minutes.
Oh, we have time for more speakers then. Very good. We have a total of 30 minutes allowed. Michelle Betteg, are you here? Here she comes.
Michelle Batag, can I give my time to Michelle Gain?
No, you cannot. Michelle, you're entitled to speak.
Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say we're still not on board with the $50 million building. I know you say it's misinformation. We still haven't heard what's inside the building. Also, we're not happy with a lot of things. As you can see, hundreds of people here, very concerned about our county. Madam Chair is not concerned about our county. She's doing things that are not.
Is this about the health department?
Yes.
Then please stick to the facts, please.
Yeah. Right. As you can see, people are very unhappy with you. I hope you know that. We want you to defend our county. There's countless counties and cities around this country that are burdened with these illegal.
I'm sorry, you're not talking about the health department building?
Talking about this. Yes. I am interested in knowing more about this health department. We don't know what's inside. When you say there's not going to be, any additional cost, that is not true. That isn't true. We have to hire a staff. There's nothing has been detailed about what's inside. The cost benefit to us is not beneficial. Most of these citizens and citizens across this county are not going to be going. Even low income citizens, Michelle Gumb's district, for example, they're going to go to Copley Hospital still. They're not going to go all the way to Route 38. And, I am more than happy to have, strip malls or whatever services. But when you're talking all this medical experience, it makes me lead to think that you just want to put these illegals in this building. And they are going to be serviced there. That's the question. And not to mention you paying back your union donors. And not to mention all of these people who want answers. They want to be safe in this county. It's our county. We pay for it. These schools are getting all of these
Michelle,
students.
that's off topic.
Yes.
Off topic. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me talk us about solar. Very good. Okay, hold on just a second.
We have one more speaker.
That's the agenda 4620, right? In a minute, please. We're in a minute.
Hold on. You're trying to substitute what's my chunky. You don't get this everywhere.
We're going to move forward to our solar. We've got several people who would like to talk about the solar. Second, ma'am, hold on a second. Hold on, we got you. Just please hold on a
More
second.
people signed up. There's time available.
Oh, no. No, no, no.
Solar.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, you know.
Frank.
All right, ma'am, can you give me your name, please? Kim, please come up about the solar.
Frank.
I'm not talking solar.
It's only about solar right now.
Yeah, but I was on the housing. What happened to the housing issue?
No, Kim, sit back down, please. Thank you.
So now you're telling me I can't talk when it was about the housing? About your healthcare building, whatever?
Ma'am, please sit down for just a second.
Mark, here's Mark.
Is Mark Schrage here? Mark Schrage? Is Mark Schrage here? Mark, are you here? Solar.
This is crap. Yeah, it's a mess out there. So these
Okay.
are some words that my wife put together, and I think we need a little piece. So this is kind of redundant. So it's old news really, but it has to do with the building. That's what we're on, right?
No, we're on, are you talking about solar?
You're kidding me. Last time I came with solar and I didn't get to speak. Now this time it's solar and I can't speak on the building? Are you kidding me?
You have solar, Mark Schrage, solar from.
Oh, no, that's,
From 213. We're going back to what the original piece was that people couldn't speak on. So you can talk on solar.
well, what was the sign up for today?
We don't go back to 13.
Talk about the building and everybody will be.
On Sanford, there's nobody speaking about solar. Perfect.
Everybody on the sign.
Meaning erase.
Speak.
All right, so about the building, though I'm not an expert on economics, I do know our country's in debt and that any handouts from the federal government are basically printed money that only increases that debt. So in general, I would not be supportive of any federal handouts that generate the printing of more money. However, if they already printed the money and we're stuck with the consequences and you are in the position of keeping the funds or returning them, then I do understand your desire to not return them if they can fulfill a need. The question is, can we simply use the funds we have to make a lasting impact on the health of our local citizens, or are we now taking on more potential debt? That's been an ongoing theme. As per the agenda item, there have been 24.6 million funds of ARPA funds committed to the building of a new health facility, plus another 5 million from other county funds being reassigned to the building expense, as I understand it. On the website of our health department, they have a section on lead poisoning that focuses on testing children for lead levels in their blood. If the lead levels are high, then they are given some counseling to identify the sources of the lead. One of the flyers posted, coming from the CDC, mentions 5 things you can do to remove lead from your home and concentrates almost exclusively on lead dust from lead paint, making no mention of lead in the water. This flyer probably predates the surge in national awareness and the problems with lead in our water spurred on by the crisis over contaminated water that exploded in Flint in 2014. After the city had changed its water supply in Flint, residents started complaining of the quality of the water and noticing problems in the health of their children. Being ignored by the competent authorities, they conducted a study of
in 2015, in which researchers at Virginia Tech collected water samples from 252 homes and found a number of samples registered well above the federal level of 15 parts per billion. More than 40% measured above 5 parts per billion of lead, which the researchers considered an indication of a very serious problem. Flint, Michigan pediatrician Mona Hana Atisha stated that lead is one of the most damning things you can do to a child in the entire life course of their trajectory, or the entire. While it's terrible that in Flint, nearly 9,000 children were supplied lead-contaminated water for 18 months, they identified the problem and acted on it rather soon. While in Kane County, we're slowly waking up to the tragedy of having the lead in the water service lines to our homes contaminate the otherwise clean water we thought we were getting from our water departments. And so now we get to where we live in Elgin. For 11 years now, the city of Elgin has been working on replacing their portion of the lead water service line, but it would still require residents to spend $5,000 to remove the portion on their property.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
In 2018, still the city of Elgin, they created a new program to complete both the public and private placement of water service lines. So they did the good thing and decided to place not just the public side, but the private side as well at the city's cost. That's government. They have been testing the water in 100 homes every 6 months as part of a routine of sampling the quality of water. If the sample is taken, between July, December of 2023, they determined that 19 of the 100 homes exceeded the 15 parts per billion with a resultant percentile of 22.9 parts per billion and a level of blood in the water requiring follow-up. Based on the testing performed to date, they have determined they need to replace, this is the city of Elgin again, 13,000 water service lines with an estimated cost about $135 million, which will take well over a decade to do. For 2024, they have committed the majority of their $13.5 million ARPA funds, American Rescue Plan Act, to help in this effort. In 2024, they will replace the lead water service line in 870 homes at an approximate cost of $13,000 per home, $11.3 million.
Time is up, sir.
So you can see the implications. The county can help the cities, and the immediate health benefit getting the lead service lines out of the water.
Michael Noonan.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Mike Noonan with Foley and Lardner in Chicago, Illinois. I'm here on behalf of Horizon Solar Power and Kane Solar 2 LLC, the applicant under zoning petition number 4616 for a special use for a community solar facility project on the south side of Lincoln Highway, just west of Meredith Road in Maple Park. As you know, this board voted to deny the requested special use. However, if that decision stands, my client Horizon intends to file a lawsuit against the county challenging this denial. This imminent lawsuit can be avoided, however, if the petition remains as an active agenda item so that my client can continue working with neighbors toward a compromise that everyone can live with. This petition is complex with nuanced facts, which we feel the board needs more time to adequately consider before making its final decision. Based on conversations with State's Attorney Jamie Moser and John Frank, we are asking that the board take the following steps this afternoon to keep this matter an active agenda item rather than allowing the decision to become final. First, we ask that a member who voted to deny the petition on February 13th make a motion to reconsider that decision. If that motion is successful, we then ask the board to make a motion to postpone this agenda item until its April 9th meeting. Doing so would allow adequate time, about 6 weeks, for my client to continue working with neighbors to alleviate or mitigate concerns about the project and resolve this matter without costly or time-consuming litigation. In particular, we would like to allow all parties more time to digest the revised site plan where neighbors' paths of travel have been maintained, and to further consider my client's offers to provide additional screening, among other issues. We respectfully request that a reconsideration of the vote on zoning petition 4616, and we respectfully request that the substantive reconsideration occur at the board's regular meeting of April 9th. We would greatly appreciate such a motion and believe it would provide the breathing room that all parties need to resolve this matter without litigation. Thank you.
I believe that is Mr. Roth. Are we done with our half an hour?
This puts us at 28 minutes. Because he was only 2 minutes.
We have one more speaker, ma'am. Please, what is your name? You,
And I registered online to speak.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you repeat your name again, please?
Sylvia Schrage, SCHRAGE. And in addition, I'm actually concerned about two items on the agenda. The one is the healthcare facility was already addressed. The end of what my husband was saying is that with the money you have of $31 million, you can triple the efforts of Elgin. Triple the efforts if you do the math. 13,000 per house in a tangible, actual saving of incredible healthcare cost of the consequences and suffering in their life of these children. So on moving to the agenda item that I signed up to speak, Resolution 24055, authorizing agreement with Illinois Department of Healthcare and Family Services to allow Medicaid presumptive eligibility to pregnant women program and family planning program. Why are we having to sign this? Presumptive eligibility, it means that these people are coming to get service and don't qualify, but then we're going to accelerate the qualification so we can serve them. Who are these people who need accelerated Medicaid coverage? Now, for some background, also, I'm going to address some background on this family planning business of the government. If you want to know why we are spending money on this, I would encourage you all to read the National Security Study Memorandum 200, Implications of Worldwide Population Growth for U.S. Security and Overseas Interests, also known as the Kissinger Report, given by Kissinger to President Nixon in 1974. And some of the highlights of that are that he considered, oh, these people are multiplying so much, and we can't motivate them to stop multiplying. Why are they motivated? Number one, in rural areas, they could use the help of their children on the family farm. Number two, in their old age, they could get support. So what were his 5 remedies? Number one, educate women. How are we educating women? So all of us who feel we're so educated, fourth grade level education in women would change the results on fertility, reduce fertility because they can read the propaganda. Number two, bring development to rural areas. So we think, let's bring solar farms. Let's do this. Let's bring development to our Kane County, but we love our farms. By bringing development, the agenda was to get people off the farm so they don't need to work on the farm, so they don't need the children, so we reduce the population. Number three, employ women outside the home, another great ploy to reduce families, kill families. Number four, place satellites over certain villages to broadcast family planning propaganda. In the report, they talk about putting satellites over villages in India to broadcast to the TVs at that time because they didn't have the cell phone. They didn't have Melinda Gates going from house to house, pinging the places who didn't have information to send information on the cell phone. The last one is my favorite because it truly shows one of the main reasons children are actually not a loss, but overall provide a huge return on investment. Kissinger states that we, the US, might have to help some countries develop a social security system so that instead of being taken care of by their children, we can then farm them over to these institutions who in the last great treatment of our healthcare department and others wouldn't let us visit our elderly in those institutions. So children are a better option. I do not believe in us funding this family planning, but especially last time I told you about this selective addressing this sterilization to immigrant women. So we think that we're helping immigrants perhaps with this. We have another problem. Look at the World Bank report on migration of December 2023. You will see in this World Bank report how we've gone from coyote.mex to coyote.tex to coyote.cane. So we all take a slice in this migrant business. So which are the slice we are taking? The GDP of some of these countries, especially Nicaragua, 27% of their GDP comes from people flying into Nicaragua, get wired money while they're there, and Nicaragua gives them now figured a way to get a visa of $1,000 fee so they can get some benefit of this migrant business who then comes through the Darien Gap to us. But back to family planning, why I'm talking about family planning, we are funding the Red Cross giving contraceptives to the women migrating from Africa to Europe and from Venezuela and Quito to us through the Darien Gap. And we're giving them contraceptives saying, you know what? It's not a matter of if you'll be raped, you will be raped. But here's the contraceptive.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
vote no.
Thank you
We
very
vote
much.
no on this family planning business.
Thank you, Kim. And I think that's it. Would you like, sir, would you like to leave? Thank you, sir. We're done. We're done. We're done.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the opportunity of hearing your words. On to our consent agenda.
I get my 3 minutes.
Security.
I get my 3 minutes, but you, sir.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. We're moving on to our consent agenda. I would like, Sheriff, we're going to need to clear the room if this continues. Thank you, sir. Could you please sit down?
Public comment on it. You need your microphone. The time allotted for public comment on agenda items is 30 minutes, and the business of the board takes precedence.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the board, are you ready to begin? We are now moving on to our consent agenda. Is there anybody here who would like to remove an item from the consent agenda? Ms. Strathman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to remove from the consent agenda, Resolution 24-034, excuse me, and 24-035, as well as 24-4040.
Ms. Juby.
I would like to remove 24-036.
All right, is there anybody else?
Yes,
Mr. Young.
David Young, I'd like to remove 24-045, 24-068. I had others, but I think they were taken. Let me check. But yes,
Gotta be quicker
Could
than
you
that.
repeat those, please?
I said 24-045 and 24-068.
Thank you.
Okay, the two. That's it. Anybody else? Do you have another one?
No, I just like for you to repeat the ones we have, just in case. I had several listed. I just want to make
Oh,
sure. that-
I'm going to, I'll go
Okay.
through that as we start approving, and then if there's another one that I missed,
Okay,
I will do that.
okay.
So may I have a motion and a second to approve?
Wait,
all the
Madam Chair,
items? Yes.
I wasn't done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Yes, ma'am.
okay. I would like to pull 24-055 at
Five. Anybody else over here? Anybody? Last call?
Anybody online?
And is there anybody online who needs to move anything off consent?
We're just trying to keep track.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
would move
Okay,
the rest of the consent
Oh.
agenda.
with the exception of, and let me list them out.
The ones mentioned.
4-034, 24-035, 24-036, 24-040, 24-045, 24-055, and 24-068.
Okay, so moved by Kenyon. Is there a
Tarver
second?
seconds.
Yeah, have a second.
Carver, second.
Tarver, thank you. Mr. Tarver. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Okay, Ellen.
This is for the
Alan.
consent agenda.
Point of information. I think Davis was the second on that. I don't,
No, I think Tarver.
Was Tarver.
Or we'll give it to Tarver.
okay, sorry.
Okay, you ready? Call the roll?
Ellen.
Alan, I.
Thank you. Bates.
Bates, yes.
Mr. Berman, did you arrive? Doherty.
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Ward.
Board, yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Juby.
Juby, I.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Caius.
Yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Linder, did you arrive?
Yes. That vote is yes.
Thank you. Molina.
Molina, yes.
Roth.
Roth, yes.
Sanchez.
Sanchez, yes.
Silva.
Silva, yes.
Strathman.
Strathman, yes.
Surges.
Sturgis, yes.
Carver.
Tarver, yes.
Tepe. Williams.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
That passes.
And as a matter of protocol, do I have your permission to allow Mr. Linder to attend? I believe it's because of illness.
Make it so. Consent.
Yes, we have a consent for that. Mr. Linder, welcome. All righty. Now we're on to off consent. May I have a motion and a second to discuss and possibly approve item number 24-034?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would like to postpone these three resolutions that I mentioned.
We have, I believe we have to have a motion and a second to.
Oh, okay,
to
I beg your
address
pardon.
these.
Again.
I'll move for discussion, Tepe.
Second.
Yes, no, Mr.
Now.
Yes, please.
So just so we're clear, the motion to discuss will be only on 34. Now, if you make an individual motion to postpone it, then we need to open 35 and so on and so forth. I know it's a little bit of a waste of time, but that's the only way this can work properly.
So one at a time,
Okay. Oh,
please.
be here through the tornado. I would like to make a motion. I would like to postpone resolution 24-034 to a date certain, maybe March 20th, to give us more time to discuss this issue.
Caius would second.
All right, is there any discussion on this to move this item to a March 20th board meeting?
Madam Chair, Gums.
Madam Chair.
I'm sorry, who else spoke?
Sanchez.
Oh, Mr. Sanchez, hold on. Mr. Sanchez, I'll recognize you, please, since this is coming from your committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, we're wishing to postpone the 3 resolutions today related to the Public Health Department
Can you
facility.
speak slightly louder, Mr. Sanchez, if you're able
Sure,
to?
sorry. I'm on my laptop. Sometimes it's not the best. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We're wishing to postpone the 3 resolutions today regarding the public health facility to allow our team more time to respond to some of the information that was shared by the state's attorney's office in order to help county board members understand that information and to understand the parameters of this project in terms of eligibility, in terms of risk, in terms of our long-term planning for this. So that is why we're asking to postpone these resolutions to a March 20th meeting. We're working, we've got about 10 or 12 people that are working on this to put together the information for the county board so that when we do get to that discussion and final vote, everyone on the board is fully informed on the matters and issues and will have their own opinions at that time, but will be fully informed rather than only partially informed. So that is why we're requesting these actions today on these 3 resolutions. So I ask my fellow board members to consider that and allow us to move these forward.
Okay, thank you. Michelle?
Madam Chair Gums, with all due respect to my colleague, frankly, I've spent more time than I think I ought to on this issue, and postponing is not something that I support. I personally have spent many, many hours researching this. I've looked at everything, and I think the words were to help us understand with more time. I fundamentally disagree with that. We should all be working diligently, and I think everybody has had ample opportunity to do their investigating. So I would not support postponing.
Are there any other questions?
Madam Chair
Comments?
Ford?
Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Ford.
It sounds like the date was March 20th. Is that what I heard? So so
That's a Wednesday.
so I don't know where that date would come from. Is that
This
just
would be a special board meeting.
okay that we would have to agree to? The more we talk about postponing this project tells me more from that we're not ready for it, that there's a lot of work to be done. So we need to really dig into what we're trying to produce first as a health department before we go into fact where we're trying to put it or place it. So I really have a problem with postponing this. We really need to look into where we're at with it and where we're trying to get to first. So we need to take a motion on, move that first before we go any further.
Well, I think we're right now on a vote to postpone to a date certain, potentially the 20th. Is there any comments, Ms. Bates?
Well, thank you, Mr. Ford, for your comments, but I think that's why we need to postpone.
Any other comments?
Davis with a question.
Yes, Mr. Davis.
Can Mr. Athman's motion be amended to include all 3 so that we don't do this 3 times?
I think it would be best, Shepro, if we proceeded as Mr. Frank suggested. It won't take that much additional time as long as people don't want to repeat everything they said on the first one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Any other questions? Hearing none, I think we're ready for the vote to postpone to a date certain on resolution 23-034.
A yes vote is a motion to postpone. A no vote is a motion not to postpone.
That's correct. One at a time, one at a time.
Okay, so this is postpone 24-034 only right now. Alan?
Alan, aye.
Bates?
Bates, yes.
Doherty?
Come back.
I'm sorry?
Come back.
Okay, Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Ford, no.
Ford, no. Gums?
Gums, no.
Juby?
Juby, no.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, no.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Linder? Are you here?
No. I'm sorry?
No.
Thank you. Molina?
Molina, yes.
Molina? Yes.
Molina, yes.
Was so soft. Roth?
Roth, no.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surges?
Or just no.
Tarver?
Harvard, no.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Williams?
Williams, no.
Young?
No.
And back to you, Mr. Doherty. Mr. Doherty?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 10. So that passes in
Yeah.
favor of postponing.
So this resolution 24-034 will be postponed to a date certain. May I have a motion and a second to speak about item number 24-035?
Tepe moves.
Tepe, second, please.
Yes.
Bates?
Bates.
I'll take
Okay,
Bates.
very good. Ms. Strathman?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I would like to postpone this to a date certain so that we have more time to answer all the questions that people keep bringing up and we haven't had a chance to fully explore. This is a big decision, and I think it's timely that we take more time to answer the questions that are before us.
Very good, thank you.
And for excuse me, I forgot to say for a date certain of March 20th. Postpone till that date.
Okay. To a date certain.
Do we have a time for the March 20th?
Not, yes.
At 9 o'clock.
Okay, so it would be a special meeting.
Is there a
for
second?
Public health?
No, I think it'll be around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but that, I don't have that time in front of
Okay.
me. So we have I think we already have a
Is that
second.
why she's doing that?
No.
That,
Tepe will second.
oh, second for that, yes. Thank you, Mr. Tepe. Any other further discussion on to postpone to a date certain? No. Clerk, please call the roll.
Allen?
Allen, aye.
Bates? Bates, yes. Doherty?
Jordan, no.
Dabbist?
That was yes.
Doherty was a no.
No.
Okay. Ford?
Or no.
Okay. Gums?
Gums, no.
Juby?
Juby, no.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Yes.
Leonard?
No. Leonard, no.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Linder? Mr. Linder?
Linder, no.
Thank you. Molina?
Molina, yes.
Roth?
Roth, no.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman? Strathman, yes.
Surges?
Surges, no.
Okay, thank you. Tarver?
Harvard, no.
I'm sorry?
No.
Get me loud.
Sorry.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Williams?
Williams, no.
And Young?
No.
That was
Oh,
a
it
tie.
Fails.
Yes.
11.
What was your vote?
No.
Thank you. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 2,
11 yes, 12 no.
11, 11. You have 11?
Is it 11, 11?
11.
Who didn't vote?
11.
Okay. Who were the two absentees?
Already changed his vote.
No, we'd already changed his vote, but Berman and
Yes. No. He voted no.
Iqbal, okay. So, yeah, so it's tie vote. The board being equal divided, the chairman may vote.
Yes, is my vote to postpone.
The vote is 12-11. Passes to postpone.
May I have a motion, a second, to discuss possibly approve item number 24-036?
Tepe will move.
Sanchez seconds. Sanchez seconds. Ms. Juby?
I just wanted to vote no on it.
You pulled it.
I had it off the consent agenda because I didn't want to vote no on the other things on the consent agenda. But I wanted to vote no on this particular item.
Okay, all right, thank you. No other comments on, are there any other comments on this item? Okay, seeing none and seeing any online. Clerk, please call the roll.
You have a motion?
This is to, you have it right now is to prove it. Is there a?
Right now,
To postpone it.
right now, there's only a motion on the floor to approve.
36.
We're just approving. This is item number 24-036, amendment agreement with the Kane County American Rescue Plan consultant and corresponding use of additional state and local fiscal recovery funds. This is regarding Ernst & Young.
Does she want to make a motion to postpone that or?
No, no, that was not the case. We're voting to approve this. 24-036, everybody. All right, we're ready to take the vote, please.
Okay, this is to approve 24-036. Ellen?
Ellen, I.
Bates?
Bates, yes.
Berman's not here. Doherty?
Right now.
Davis? Mr. Davis?
Yep, sorry, there we go. Button was stuck. Davis, yes.
Thank you. Ford?
Ford, no.
Gums?
Gums, no.
Juby?
Juby, no.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Nice, yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, no.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Linder?
Linder, no.
Okay, thank you. Molina?
Molina, yes.
Roth?
Roth, no.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Or just no?
Tarver? Tepe?
Deppie, yes.
Williams?
Williams, no.
Young?
No.
11 to
11 and 11 again.
All right, and I will take the tie vote. I will vote to approve this resolution.
Okay, 12-11.
All right, may I please have a motion and a second to discuss and possibly approve item number 24-040.
Deppie will move.
Thank you, Mr. Tepe. Second, please.
Caius, second.
Thank you, Mr. Caius. Ms. Strathman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I would like to have some more time. I'd like to postpone this to a certain date, to a date certain of March 20th, so that we may have more time to answer the questions that are coming before us and the committee.
Any other discussion on this?
I'll second our motion. You don't have a second yet.
Motion on that, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kenyon. All right, this is a vote to postpone item number 24-040. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ellen?
Ellen, I.
Bates?
Bates, yes.
Doherty?
Right now.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Ford, no.
Gums, no.
Juby?
Juby, no.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Nice, yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, no.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Linder? Mr. Linder? We'll come back. Molina?
Molina, yes.
I'm sorry.
Molina, yes.
Okay. Roth?
Roth, no.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Surgis, no.
Tarver?
Tarver, no.
Tepe?
Deppie, yes.
Williams?
Williams, no.
Young?
No.
Okay.
Call Linder again.
Mr. Linder, are you there?
I'm here. I said, yo,
Okay, thank you, Mr. Linder. Where are we at? All right, 2, 4, 6, 8.
Tie vote.
And you tie vote again.
I vote yes to postpone.
All right, that passes.
All righty, may I please have a motion and a second to approve item number 24-045?
I make the motion.
Thank you. A second, please.
Strathman.
Thank you, Ms. Strathman. Mr. Young.
Thank you, David Young. I wanted to pull this off of the agenda. This came through the admin committee, and there was a line, this is for the engineering work that was going to be done, or that is going to be done for the new HVAC for the jail. It's not actually new HVAC, it's replacing the existing HVAC, and this is the engineering work that is going to be done by Kluber, who is the engineering firm. And I'd like to, could you bring up page 468 in the packet, please? Right there. So is this something that came up, and even, and Vern Tepe actually brought this up. If you look at the line item, $501,500, this is engineering work only, okay? I questioned Mr. Kluber as to what his hourly rate was for this service. And he said, the first time he said, well, I work with the county all the time. And I said, okay, well, what's your hourly rate? And he said, well, it's fair. And then I said, well, what's your hourly rate? Well, finally, I said, what is it? And he wouldn't tell me. And I said, he said, it's going to take me, I said, how many people is it going to take to do this engineering work, specifically this one line item? And he said, okay, it's going to be 3 engineers for 8 weeks. Okay. So you do 3 engineers for 8 weeks times 40 hours per week. That's 960 hours. So you take that $501,500 divided by 960 and you get $522 per hour. And I thought that was outrageous. So could you turn to page 481, please, in the packet? This lists his hourly rate. I guess you can't see that. Let me turn to mine. Is the hourly rate on that one? Yeah, hourly on the very bottom. And it shows the hourly rate for like a project. Let's say it's project mechanical engineer number 3, $165 per hour. Okay. Well, he's charging us $522 per hour. So you do the math, that's like $300,000. I think we're being overcharged for this. So I would like everyone to just digest what I just said, and I would like to vote no on this particular resolution just because of this charge. Mr. Kluber himself said that the time it would take would be 3 engineers for 8 weeks. Okay. At 40 hours a week, that's 960 hours. So it's too much. So thank you. And I'm going to vote no. So that's why I brought this up. Thanks.
Are there any other comments on this? House, this has come from your committee. Do you have any comments or thoughts on this?
If Mr. Fonstock is around, he could probably enlighten us. Are you listening, Mr. Fonstock?
Mr. Fonstock, if you're available, please meanwhile I'll recognize Mr. Tarver because he did have his hand up.
The question was answered. Thank you.
Oh, okay, very good. Thank you. Mr. Fonstock, are you there? Mr. Fonstock is not here to speak.
My understanding, well, this is Caius again. My understanding it was a reasonable rate and this is a very specialized type of work that's required. I can't speak to the specifics on the hourly converted to what you have pulled out of there. It's difficult to pull it up, but
And Mr. Fonsack, please take the microphone. We have a question that was presented regarding hourly rate for an engineer.
Hello, Roger Fonsack with IT and Building Management. And I heard it briefly. We were in the overflow section, so I'm sorry, Mr. Young, if I can't exactly answer the question from what you said. But we did some breakdown with Kluber about the architect and engineering, and they had estimated almost 3,800 hours of work over the course of about a year for this. And I think the average blended rate, they did not provide a rate for individuals. It was $225 an hour for the engineering, 3,800 hours. I don't know if the math is exact, but that's the estimate. I think I heard some references to 1 or 2 or 3 people in 3 days or something, but I don't know that substance. But I do know that the estimated hours for this is the review of the entire 640 bed 2-tower jail adult corrections center, all the heating, air conditioning, ventilation systems, the engineering that would go into the rework of that. There's also the sheriff's office, which has had some renovation work and some other things that they're going to be looking at engineering for heating and air conditioning as that building's been reconstructed. It also deals with the Sally Port where they bring inmates in for ventilation and carbon monoxide and other things in the Sally Port. And there's also a plan for the qualifications range, which is a gun range where they fire their weapons for qualifications. So there's 4 pieces to it. And then there's a 5th piece, which involves the outer shell building, which is return air in the outer shell. The outer shell of the building acts as a plenum. The inner part of the building are the jail cells themselves. There's been some air quality challenges and other things with the outer building in the plenum space. They want to revisit that. So that's the type of work. It's about 3,800 hours of estimated engineering and design work. We will get a full plan set when we're done for all the projects, and we're looking to bid it out in 4 or 5 pieces or phases. It'll probably take us 2 to 3 years. So that's kind of the summary of the project.
It's Mr. Ford.
Madam Chair Ford, are there reports to be done and a lot of testing? It sounds like when you're going to do work like this, there's a lot of testing involved.
There's balancing and testing included in all of the engineering.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Young again.
Hi, David Young. This 3,800 hours that Mr. Fonsack is providing to us right now, this is the first time I've heard this. I specifically asked the owner of the company how long it would take, and this is what he was told. I did talk to Roger after the meeting, and I was amazed at, the price tag. And he said that he would get me some information and that he would break it down for me. I never heard from him. I'm hearing from him now.
Sure.
I still am thinking that the 3,800 bug. I still think 38 was bothering you, wasn't it? I know it's the 30. Okay. The 3,800 hours, that just seems excessive. I mean, there's 2,000 hours in a work year for one person. That means you need almost 2 people to actually do this whole entire thing. That's all they would do for a whole entire year is go and do measurements. I mean, they have lasers, they have scanners. You go in, you type a laser and you point at a wall, point at a wall, point at a wall, and you're done. It's still excessive. I'm encouraging everybody to vote no. They can go back and they can redo their bid. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on this item? No, I believe we are ready to call the roll.
Okay,
And this is on item number 24-045.
correct. Okay, Ellen.
Allen, aye.
Bates.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Yes.
Okay. Doherty.
No.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Ford.
Ford, yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Juby.
Juby, aye.
Kenyon.
No.
Guys,
Caius.
yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Linder.
Linda, no, or yes, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Was that a yes, Mr. Linder?
It's a yes. It's a yes.
Okay, yes. Molina.
Molina, yes.
Roth.
Roth, no.
Sanchez.
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, no.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Carver,
Carver, no.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Williams,
Williams, no.
Young.
No.
Okay, still passes. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, passes.
Okay, and what is it?
7 nays.
Okay, 7
Right,
nays.
1, 2,
Okay, very good. Thank you.
it passes.
Okay. May I please have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially pass item number 24-055?
Molina will move.
Thank you, Ms. Molina.
Strathman will second.
Thank you, Ms. Strathman. Ms. Silva,
Dr. Silva.
Dr. Silva, so sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to thank our speaker, Sylvia Schrag. I don't know if you've left the room, but she brought attention to an issue that is very important to me, as my mother was a victim of forced sterilization. My mother was an immigrant. She came to the country legally. And you're actually, my views on immigration may surprise some of you, but there need to be decisions made with sense. We need to think about what's going on. And one of these decisions impacted my life, my mom's life, when she presented to the physician with a tubal pregnancy. And she came out with both her tubes removed. So there was no reason for her to have the other tube, her other fallopian tube removed, but it was removed. And so it was forced sterilization that my mother underwent. And I've heard subsequent stories of women that have been forced into, coerced or forced into sterilization. So I just want to bring attention to that because it can happen and it does happen. And I think that we need to bring awareness to the issue because when we talk about mental health, that is something that can affect a woman's mental health if that is not something that she is prepared for. So thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Thank you, Dr. Silva. Any other questions on this?
Sturgis
Vince?
question.
Who's that, please? Mr.
Sturgis.
Sturgis? Yes, sir.
I'm just, yeah, you know what, I'm a little naive on this, and so I'm just asking for some clarity. In terms of the county's role in directing Medicaid, how does that work? How is it that we are in a position to be moving something of this nature at the county level?
All right. Ms. Strathman, this is under your committee.
Mr. Isaacson is downstairs in the overflow room if we'd like him to come up and see if he can give us a better explanation. I do not have an explanation for this.
You know what, and I don't mean to cause trouble, but when I see it's the Illinois Department of blah, 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 and we are the Kane County Board, I'm just trying to understand what exactly we're doing with this and how we're moving this forward within. Is this something that's just symbolic or is this something with teeth on it? And I'm just a little confused on it. I just need some help.
Well, why don't we, if I may, if we can get Mr. Isaacson upstairs, please.
Can we leave?
Here he
Project
comes.
and go
He's
to
coming
something
into the
else?
room now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, super.
Mr. Isaacson, we'd like you to explain in a little bit of detail what 24-055 will do.
Excellent, thank you. So good evening, Michael Isaacson, Executive
Mr.
Director.
Isaacson, your microphone, please.
I just ran up the stairs, sorry.
There you go.
So what this does is this would allow us to bill for presumed Medicaid eligible people. So they don't necessarily have a Medicaid card yet, but they would be presumed eligible. So that would allow us to offer services sooner. And this is very common. The only reason that this is coming before this board to answer the question is because there's where's my lawyer? Indemnification language. And we can't take it out. And because it's the state of Illinois, the civil division said that it needs to come before the board. And I think, Mr. Frank, I think that's pretty much it.
Very good.
So,
Yes.
Madam Chair, Sturgis, if I can
May I-
Hold,
continue.
hold on, Mr. Sturgis, hold on just a second.
Madam Chair, may I address Mr. Isaacson directly?
Yes, please.
Mr. Isaacson, is there anything in this resolution which would authorize the sterilization of a young woman?
No, absolutely not.
Or of any woman.
Is this designed for us to recoup revenues for services you provide?
Correct.
So if,
Well, it'll be new services actually, because
Okay.
since we're not billing for it now, that's what we're proposing is that we would be able to bill for it.
okay, thank you.
So this is for future services that the office will be providing,
Correct.
but not sterilization.
Not sterilization, no.
Madam Chair.
Dr. Silva.
Thank you. I just want to clarify, I wasn't trying to infer that forced sterilization will happen, but due to the speaker earlier, I wanted to share my story to bring awareness,
Okay.
and it fit nicely under this.
Okay, just as a reference point.
Yes,
Thank you very much for that. Is there anybody else? who would like to
Madam
make a
Chair, may I
comment?
continue?
Mr. Sturgis, yes, I believe.
Ma'am. Sorry. And Michael, could you, if I may, Michael, can you just describe when we say services? What are you just pushing paper or are we actually, well, I mean, what are we doing here?
Sure. And I'll ask, I don't know if Director Barrett from the Health Department is online. This is one of her programs. She can speak more specifically to it.
Madam Chair.
Ms. Barrett, are you online? I don't see her. Okay,
Chair.
yes.
So may I ask?
Wait a minute, hold on just a second. Hold on. Mr. Doherty had his hand up. And if Ms. Barrett comes in the meanwhile, we'll bring her in.
Sure. So,
As we're-
but I can't answer. So this is things ranging from pregnancy tests, getting people signed up for WIC and other services that they may be eligible for. And sometimes the barrier is if they've not yet been through the full Medicaid process, then it wouldn't be allowable for us to bill for those services. And again, this just gives us the ability at the presumptive level.
Okay. Mr. Sturgis, are you fine?
Yeah, I think I'm okay. And Michael, I appreciate you looking in the camera. It's like I'm right there. So I appreciate that.
All right, Mr. Doherty, your hand has been up.
Yeah, so two questions. So how would this prevent forced sterilization?
We are not, Kane County is not going to be a provider of sterilization.
Madam Chair.
Is that, can I say that comfortably, Mr. Isaacson?
Yes,
Okay, so it wouldn't prevent it.
So,
it would have no bearing on it.
Okay. Now, the other question is, how many people go through this process right now with us?
None. That's why we're asking for permission to be able to do it.
it's a new program.
So
Is there a projected amount?
Healthcare, you turn them away?
Yeah, we're not able to, we don't currently offer these services. That's correct. That's good. No, Mr. Doherty, I apologize. I'm not trying to be flippant, but if people come in now, we do not have the ability to bill their Medicaid if they're only Medicaid presumed eligible. So we don't have the ability to do that. That's not currently a service that we would offer. So we would not do this. This would be for prenatal care for folks, making sure they have prenatal vitamins, making sure that they're linked up with doctors so that they can get their care as early in their pregnancy as possible, and making sure that they're connected with a doctor so that they can have a delivery.
So this is only prenatal care?
That's the focus of it, yes. For this particular, it's pregnant women program and family planning, yes.
Well, family planning is a euphemism for abortion. So is that what we're doing?
There's no abortions, no.
Well,
Yeah, no.
it certainly shouldn't be in there. All right, thank you.
No, and that's the formal name at the state level. So no, we're.
So you had something to say?
I just wanted to ask if these were typical obstetrician type services.
Okay, thank you.
That was can you say confirmation? Yes.
Linkages and education, right? So we don't have obstetricians on staff at the Kane County Health Department, but it's providing linkages too.
Okay. One more question, please. If anybody wanted to get sterilized, they'd have to sign a bunch of permission papers, right?
It's got,
I've actually
it's
have
got
no
nothing to
expertise
do
in
with
that.
that, Mavis,
Yeah.
Ms. Bates. I'm sorry, nothing to do with that at all.
That's fine. I don't mind.
So,
Are
I'm
we-
sorry, can I ask one question?
One more question.
So this is designed to assist young women who are pregnant, deliver a healthy baby and have a healthy child. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And
And
there's no other agenda behind this. There's no abortion counseling or anything. That's what we're talking about is the healthy delivery of a child.
Exactly. And this allows us to sign people up and so that they can get access to these services.
Thank you.
To bring a child to full term. And I will just have one gentle correction. Thank you for calling a 45-year-old woman young because they can certainly have a wonderful child.
Younger than me.
So are we ready to call the roll? Yes? Okay, go ahead, please. This is for item number 24-055.
Ellen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Doherty,
I know.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder.
Linder, yes.
Thank you. Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Yes.
Mr. Surgis.
Yes.
Thank
Sturgis,
you.
yes. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Pepe, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young.
No.
Passes. 2 noes.
Two notes. Okay, very good. May I please have a motion and a second to discuss and possibly approve item number 24-068?
I will move.
Young, second, please.
Bates.
Yes, okay.
Pepe,
Mr.
seconds.
Bates already second. Thank you, Mr. Tepe. Mr. Young, this is yours.
Yep, David Young. This was what came through the Public Health Committee, and the Public Health Department wants to add a home visiting nurse, and this nurse is going to be funded through a grant. And my reason for opposing this is that, eventually these grants they're going to run out. When you're 34 trillion in debt, that supply of money is going to dry up. So this individual that's going to be a home visiting nurse will now be added to the public health. We'll have to pay for this individual. And in addition to this, there are other charities and other organizations that do these services. And I just see this as an unnecessary potential expense. So I'll be voting no. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Silva.
Commissioner Young, I think you and I agree more than we disagree sometimes, but I'm going to disagree with you on this one. And I would just like to elaborate why. Studies have shown that a visiting nurse into the home can actually be very, very beneficial to the home. And I think this is an occasion where somebody can flag down if somebody has depressive issues. If somebody climbs to change a light bulb and it's unsafe because falls cause death, a visiting nurse can flag those things down. And I think in my history of public health and my background, I've often heard folks be very appreciative and form bonds and trust their visiting nurses. So I'm going to be very much in support of this because I feel that it is bringing experience, bringing consciousness and bringing hope and compassion into a home. And it can also help us avoid an issue in the home. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Roth.
I would recommend we bring Dr. Isaacson back because I remember from the discussion, public health has been providing this for 20 years. And like any grant, he says, when the grant goes away, the position goes away. So I would like him to confirm or not confirm that. Sorry for making him run
He's right
again.
here. Here comes Mr. Isaac. He did not go downstairs. He was staying close in the lobby.
Sorry.
So did you hear the question, sir?
No.
No. Mr. Roth, please.
I'll repeat it. For resolution 24-068, the headcount for a new grant funded home visiting nurse. And I remember when at that committee meeting, public health has been providing that for like 20 years. that
Yes,
service.
over 20 years, correct.
And like any grant, when it goes away, the headcount goes away.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is not a forever type of position.
Correct.
Okay, and it's providing health for people
This,
that. won't
yes, this is to
necessarily-
hire a nurse to go and do, and I heard part of the comments. This is, in my opinion, home visiting is one of the most cost-effective interventions that we can do for all families. And it's not just my opinion. There's a lot of research. That's what I'm
Right,
basing
right.
that on.
And a nurse is a lot cheaper than a doctor having to go visit the doctor.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments on this? Yes. Mr.
Madam Chair,
Pepe.
Pepe here. In the past, and I'd like to emphasize it here, key thing is that the health department is in effect funded separately. There are many positions that are funded by grants in the health department. But I also want to point out that our health department is extremely small. There are about 75 people in the health department. Compare that to DuPage County, just next door to us. They have 120 people just in mental health. We don't have even one or two. If you have a mental health issue in Kane County, you will go wanting for a long time. So funding positions like this and expanding the health department is a real challenge for us. And it's one of the things I'm going to try to help focus on if I continue to be on this board. So I feel fairly strongly about this.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Doherty, your hand is raised.
Yeah, my question is, how does this prevent someone from climbing a ladder and changing a bulb and hurting themselves?
I can't give an honest answer to that providing safety information, I don't know how many infants are climbing ladders and changing light bulbs, but to take your comment and turn it into something serious, many first-time mothers with no experience and maybe nobody in their family that can teach them about baby-proofing a house and how to have safe places to play, having a trusted person who can come in and teach those things is very valuable.
And
okay, well, you weren't here for the comment, but so this is a grant-funded home visiting nurse, and what kind of care are they going to provide?
We use the nurse family partnership model, which is a national model, and it's extremely well researched. So all of our nurses are go through a very rigid training for this, and they do the visits, do assessments, provide education, ongoing support. This particular program is for first-time mothers, although separate from this resolution, we also coordinate other home visiting programs across the county where we help to get people into programs that they are eligible for. But this particular nurse would be part of our Kane Cares program, which if you Google, or I'm happy to send information, Nurse Family Partnership, that's the model that we use. And it's very well researched and has great outcomes.
So that's the only type of nurse nursing that they're going to do?
For this position, yes, sir. That's what we're paying them to do. Yes, sir.
All right. We were told it was going to prevent falls from ladders, so I appreciate you clarifying that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Sturgis is next, and then Mr. Ford. Thanks, Dr. Silva. Oh, he doesn't like.
Madam Chair, thank you. Michael, as you may have guessed on this particular one, I am so much in favor of home health care that, it's unbelievable. And however, the statement on this and the direction on this seems to be a situation where just a few weeks ago, we were pointing out that the health department is an overarch that helps other programs and other areas of the county, keep themselves directed. Where this seems to be very much 180-degree it's a paradigm shift on this. We are actually putting somebody in the home. I just want to make sure I'm fundamentally understanding of that. And again, if we grant support this, but it turns out in 3 years to be just one of the greatest things we've ever done, I don't think that we should shy away from this because it's grant supported. I think this is an impactful move.
Okay.
No, but I'm looking for you to say, yes, this is a divergence from.
He's shaking his head, yes.
Well,
I can see that, yes.
Yeah, we provide, I mean, we're having a lot of discussion about a new facility and there's a lot of things that we can do in a new facility. However, getting out into the community, including home visits, always has to be part of what we do. There is an evidence base for that. So there's always going to be some of that element. Again, this resolution isn't about the facility, but we need a facility for other things. We need a facility where we can have our nurses so that they have desks and things. We're moving storage out right now, so that when we hire people, they have a place where they can sit when they are in the office doing paperwork. So I wouldn't say it's a divergence, but it is one of different modalities that we use to serve the public.
And
does
Michael,
that answer your question?
If I can continue that question, to Mr. Teppe's point, of the 75 people in the health department now, how many of those would be in what I'll call the overarch bucket versus how many of those are practical and giving treatment type services?
That's a good question, but it's not germane to this resolution, sir. So can we pose that when the health department has its general meeting? And I'm sure Mr. Isaacson will be happy to send that, get that information.
I don't think
for
it's
all of
black
us.
and white. That's the only reason I paused. Some people are doing some multiple things.
Is that all right, Mr. Sturgis? And we can continue that conversation because it's a valid one.
Fair, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be supporting this. I think we're getting a little bit out of content on this. This is I believe this is for people who can't get to a regular physical because of their health or they're not mobile and things like that.
It's for new mothers, isn't it?
It's
not?
for young mothers. Yes.
Yeah, and also senior citizens are involved in this. I
This
believe.
particular program is for first-time mothers.
Okay, this is for
Specifically
first-time
this one.
mothers, but okay, but so that's even better. So I really still be supporting this because I've seen what home visits can do for individuals. It can make a big difference.
It does. It does. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just need a clarification on the actual resolution. It reads, this resolution allows the health department to increase headcount by 1 position to allow the hiring of a new home visiting nurse. This position was included in the approved budget and the position is 100% granted. My question is, was money allocated towards this or were you expecting the grant to pay for it?
We were expecting the grant to increase, so we budgeted for that increase. And then when the increase came through, now we're coming to increase the headcount.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? I think this has been discussed quite a bit. We've nurtured this.
Davis, just one more clarification.
Yes, Mr. Davis.
When the grant ends, the position ends.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll kick the baby out of the house. All right.
No, the baby will know how to change a light bulb.
And put away the ladder. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ellen.
Allen, aye.
Bates.
Bates, yes.
Doherty.
I know.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Ford. Gums.
Gums, yes.
Chuby.
Chuby, aye.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Caius.
Guys, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Linder.
Linder, yes.
Thank you. Molina.
Molina, yes.
Roth.
Roth, yes.
Sanchez.
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
I'm sorry,
Pepe, yes.
thank you. Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young,
No.
Young, no,
No.
passes.
Good.
Okay. All right.
All right, may I please have a motion and a second to discuss and possibly approve item number 24-075?
Williams moves.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
would second this
Thank you, Mr. Kenyon. Any discussion on this item? I see none online. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ellen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Gavist,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Yes.
Juby,
Juby,
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Oh, sorry, Surges, yes.
thank you. Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
oops, Tepe,
Pepe, yes.
Williams, yes. Young,
Yes.
that passes.
Very good. May I please have a motion and a second to discuss and possibly approve item number 24-076?
Davis moves.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Second, please.
Second.
Mr. Caius. Discussion. Seeing none.
Can we just have a brief overview of what this one was about? And what didn't, since it didn't go through any committee?
Oh.
Mr. Frank?
Yes, Mr. Frank.
Frank SAO. All this is as you all know, KDOT has had a special ASA assigned to them for years. We are transitioning that back to internally within the civil department. As a part of that, KDOT is allocating some of the funds that would have been used or have been used in the past for that external ASA to bring it in over to the SAO to incorporate some of the increased needs of lawyers that we have as a part of this. So this will be an ongoing annual thing, this being the first of the annual.
Are there any other questions on this? None. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Ellen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Yes.
Juby,
Juby,
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Pepe, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Passes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be moving forward to off consent.
Chair,
We can't hear you, Ken.
Your microphone.
Shepro, because new business would normally go at the end of the agenda, you could call for new business if there is any.
Madam,
Is there any new business?
Madam Chair Gums.
Yes, Ms. Gums.
I just have a question, maybe clarifying question. I understand that there's a large group of people here talking or want to speak about the sanctuary city.
I'm sorry, I was interrupted.
No, that's okay.
Please.
As I understand it, there's a large group of people here that want to speak about the sanctuary city. I'm a little confused by this, and maybe it's a clarifying question because we have not discussed as a board to become a sanctuary county.
No,
The-
no. Was not on the
Please,
agenda.
I'm just trying to clear. So I did not see it on the agenda ever, and I go through my agendas very clearly, but if I just may clarify, it is a clarifying question because we did not discuss creating a sanctuary county unless I missed that somewhere. And I think that the public needs to know, from my perspective, that we have not had that conversation. And I think it's important for you guys to hear that. And additionally, well, I will leave the rest for my own opinion then. I just wanted to make clarification that we have not had that conversation. So if there was information put out there that we were having a vote on this, that was a lie.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to our off, thank you. We have, I'm not ignoring what you're saying. We do have a opportunity to present something else for new business that was presented to us by a public speaker. Does anybody want to move forward with this item that was suggested, which I'm thinking?
What item?
It's coming, ma'am. Your public comment is coming. Just relax. The solar field. Would anybody like to discuss the solar field?
Point of information.
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I'm trying to follow where you're going here. Discuss what regarding the solar field?
I will leave that to Mr. Frank.
SAO Frank, if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly, she's asking if any of you want to take up the suggestion by one of the public commenters to reconsider your vote regarding 4616 that happened at the last meeting.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Kenyon would move to reconsider the vote on 4616, and I voted on the winning side.
I think it has to be a no for that, on the prevailing side.
616. Is there a second on that?
Highest one second. Mr. Kenyon, you voted originally no.
Correct.
The winning
But he, right now,
That was
he's
the
just,
prevailing side.
No, I understand, but I'm just wanting to make sure we're on the same page.
So-
All right, so with that,
and we have a second, Mr. Kaz, second.
Yes, second.
So do we have to have discussion? We can just reconsider? Okay, discussion to vote.
discussion, please.
Motion to reconsider is not debatable.
Well.
Okay, so we just vote yes, yes or no.
Yes vote is a vote to put it back on as a live matter on the agenda. It is not a vote in favor of the application. It is, would be at a reconsider, would simply be that it would put it back on for your reconsideration. And if there is no further discussion or motions, then the next order after that would be a vote, a new vote on passing or not passing the special use.
Madam Chair, Surges.
Hold on, Mr. Surges. We are going to reconsider that now, or are we going to postpone that until?
No, that first you have to, you can't postpone it until it has been put back on the agenda. And that would happen only if the motion to reconsider passed.
All right, let's take that vote because I just.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, Surges.
Yes, Mr. Surges. Yes,
If
sir.
this wasn't noticed, how are we voting on anything? I mean, why are we even discussing something that wasn't noticed for a formal board meeting?
I'm going to turn
This
that
was-
back over to our attorneys.
All right, a motion to reconsider can be made at the same meeting, and this is a continuation of the same meeting at which it was voted down.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Everybody fine with that?
Is it to reconsider today or at the next, a further?
Well, all right. If the motion to reconsider is passed, then there would be an opportunity, the main motion to approve the special use would once again be before you for debate and discussion, at which point a motion could be made to postpone any further discussion or vote on that item until whatever date you would pick. But that would,
A date
that-
certain.
yeah, but that motion would be in order only if the motion to reconsider itself is approved.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And the reconsider motion is not debatable, correct?
Yes.
You said that.
It was just,
Okay.
so this is just to reconsider. It's a yes, no, up, down vote. Okay, with all questions answered, we're taking a vote to reconsider item number 4616.
Okay.
Forward firm.
It was the,
I'm sorry, Mr. Shepro?
well, I was just going to say, in case any board members are not aware, 4616 was the application for a special use for a solar field in Mr. Leonard's district at Route 38 and what was the other?
Meredith Road.
Meredith Road,
Correct.
Which was voted.
which was
down.
voted down
Mm.
by a majority of the board.
So we have a motion and a second to reconsider.
Just put it back on the table.
All right, so we're ready to take the vote?
Can we do a
Clerk.
clarification then? So yes is to reconsider, or no is?
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready? Ellen?
Allen, I.
Bates?
Bates, yes.
Doherty?
Oh, yes.
Davis? Mr. Davis?
Davis, yes.
Thank you. Ford? Gums?
Gums, no.
Juby?
No.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, no.
Lewis?
Lewis, no.
Linder?
Linder, yes.
Thank you. Molina?
Molina, yes.
Roth?
Roth, no.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Sturgis, no.
Tarver?
Tarver's no.
Tepe?
Pepe, yes.
And Young?
No.
Williams.
He's recused. He's
He
recused.
recused.
Oh, that's right.
4, 5,
So I
6,
count
7,
10,
8,
9.
9. Looks like it passes.
Yes,
1,
it
2, 3,
passed.
4, 5.
Okay, so the motion then is to reconsider this item.
That passed.
So since this is
Madam
new,
Chair?
next step,
I'd like
There.
to move this to a date certain to our board meeting in April.
okay,
Second.
It'll be the 9th.
yes, Young, is there any discussion on moving this to a date certain in April? No? All right, clerk, please call the roll.
Okay, this is to postpone to April. April County Board.
Correct.
Ellen?
Allen, I.
Bates?
Bates, yes.
Doherty?
Oh, yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Ford, yes.
Gums?
Gums, no.
Oh, okay. Juby?
No.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, no.
Lewis?
Lewis, no.
Linder? Mr. Linder to postpone? Molina?
Yes.
Molina,
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Linder, what was your vote?
Yes.
Postpone it till, yes.
So yes, okay. Molina?
Molina, yes.
Thank you. Roth?
Roth, no.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Silva?
Yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Sturgis, no.
Tarver?
Tarver's no.
Tepe?
Pepe, yes.
Williams is recused. Young?
Yes.
Okay, looks like it passes also.
Okay.
Yeah, passes. So it's postponed.
Yes, as it goes to the April meeting.
That motion passes. We'll discuss it at the April meeting. All right, so now we are now on public comment, and there was a question I'd like to circle back around to what Ms. Gums before we begin this. There's been a lot of conversation going on, and there's been a multitude of postings that have been put on a neighborhood of websites and Facebook sites regarding sanctuary county and whether or not Kane County is going to become a sanctuary county. I'd like to give you a little history, very short. In 2017, Bruce Rauner passed what is called the Trust Act. The Trust Act made 102 counties in the state of Illinois what you would consider a sanctuary county.
Madam Chair. point
During
of
that
order.
period of time, if I may, during that period of time, we had not only a Republican governor who said that the Trust Act was a significant step in the right direction, a way to support migrants. It also, on my chair, was our current treasurer, Chris Lawson. So it was managed by both during that period of time. Since that time, in 2021, it took place in Aurora. Governor Pritzker once again passed some additional language to further support the Trust Act. Now, you are asking whether or not Kane County, and it was specifically myself, that I am making Kane County, advocating for Kane County to be a sanctuary county. I'd like to tell you that that was already done under a Republican governor by the name of Bruce Rauner in 2017. It was done in 2017. So I cannot undo state law. With that,
Madam-
yes, Ms. Gomes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I do have something to say about this because, I love you. Don't hate me too much. Every single city in the United States of America is a sanctuary city. Here is, if you will bear with me, here is why I consider it sanctuary city. Local law enforcement officers do not have the legal authority to ask an individual their immigration status. A federal agent, however, does. That is the distinction between local law enforcement and federal agents. I believe that some time ago, the phrase sanctuary city was utilized to, in my opinion, cause discourse. If you understand what is my interpretation of that, and you can ask your local police officers if they have the right to ask immigration status, they will tell you no. Now, I worked for the Aurora Police Department, and I will assure you that the Aurora Police Department cooperated at every level with ICE if they were on a raid. They cooperated at every level if there was a warrant or a hold for somebody in the system. We cooperate with immigration at that level, but a local agency does not have the powers that a federal agency has. I would ask you to consider that information, just consider it. And so that's why I say, by default, every city in the United States of America is a sanctuary city. So just think about that and understand. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but I would ask for you to consider that. I know it's a very, very important topic for you. It's an important topic for a lot of folks, but it also helps individuals at our local law enforcement level be able to protect and care for every citizen that touches foot in this county.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to begin the public comment.
Thank you for listening.
15 minutes each. Will be 5 speakers who are given 3 minutes apiece. So the first speaker who signed up is Case Sieber.
You might want to announce the weather.
Thank you. First of all, I'm so upset that we are all had to wait here all this time while everything went on that has nothing to do with us. Anyway, of course, I'm talking about the sanctuary city, but that being said, there's got to be something legally that you can do to protect us. The people coming over the border illegally are breaking the law. They could have applied to come here legally, but chose not to. People who break one law have no problem breaking other laws. But you are thinking that they're all good people. Good people do not knowingly break the law. There is not one sanctuary city in America that is safer. The crime in these cities has grown exponentially. You would be jeopardizing the life of all people living in Kane County and doing business here. Look at all the businesses in other sanctuary cities that have permanently closed or moved elsewhere. Isaiah 32:18 says, my people will live in peaceful dwellings, in secure homes, and in undisturbed resting places. That will no longer be the case if Kane County continues to be a sanctuary city. Look at what it has done to Chicago. These people that are coming over the border illegally are not poor. They have decent clothes, shoes, and backpacks. I lived in South America for 4 years, and I know these people are not poor, and I know what poor people look like. Also, people, and why are they mostly men? Why are they mostly young men? People looking for a safer, better life should be women and children. In the past, men stayed to fight for a better life for their families. This I know from my personal experience also because I have been evacuated with only women and children, and my father stayed like all the men to fight. And then back to your healthcare building that you didn't want give me time for.
That is not included in this time, ma'am.
Too bad. You didn't let me speak before. And now, and this is like, and now you want to spend 50 million
You
on a
are
new
out of
building.
order, sir. You are out of order. You are not permitted to speak.
Well, we do not want that money spent. We want less government, not more. We want lower taxes. We are now paying for taxes more in Geneva than we paid in Glenview when we moved here for lesser taxes and a safe neighborhood. But there we even had a bigger house. You are supposed to be the voice of we the people. But it seems to us that you have made promises to whomever, let's just put it that way. Each of you needs to repent before it is too late. We each have a judgment day when we meet our Heavenly Father. You may not like this, but it's true. All of us are held accountable for everything we say and do in this lifetime. How do you think that's going to work out for you on your judgment day? And just out of curiosity, just because, why not? I've got the time. Are you planning to shut down the voting machines again in the middle of the night for 2 to 3 hours like you did the last time we voted? I mean, we got 2 elections coming up, the 19th and in November. You did it in the past. Even when it was brought to your attention in the past, you did nothing to correct it. We, the people, wanted paper ballots that are hand counted, which you gave us. But what did you do? You went and spent $7.5 million for new machines that we don't want.
Your time is up.
The next speaker is Mary Niekamp. Is Mary here?
I am just recovering from surgery, so I hope you can hear me. According to the Oxford definition online, a country is defined as a nation with its own government occupying a particular territory. Particular territory implies borders. By allowing people to enter our territory unimpeded and participate in this government, we deny our status as a country. I will aid genuine refugees and legal immigrants out of my Christian charity, but I will not support policy that allows people to legally enter our territories and receive the rights, benefits, and privileges thereof. Let me be clear, this has nothing to do with racism or allowing foreigners to come and live in our land legally. I actually count several immigrants among my friends, and my husband, as a psychologist, serves many refugee families. In fact, my grandparents themselves were immigrants. They were from Armenia and Turkey during the time of the genocide. They came over through Ellis Island at a time when we weren't sure that Armenians were even considered Caucasian. My grandfather had to determine whether he had a family member here, a job waiting for him, or a skill that he could contribute to this country, or public health. X's were placed on the back of these Ellis Island immigrants because they were not allowed in a country if they showed a danger to the masses and the peoples who were here. This was an early vetting system. We have no vetting system now for these illegal immigrants whose first act in our country is illegally crossing a border. Vetting systems are important, and the legal system allows for them to become legal immigrants. It is seen by the recent news about the killing of the Georgian nurse that many of these people have a history of crime and they are being perpetrated against citizens of the United States. I'm offended that you would make a comment about police protecting people who are not citizens over its citizens. Their first duty is to its citizens. I'm fortunate enough to be born here. My grandparents were not, but they became citizens and they were proud of that. And when you bring illegals and you give them sanctuary privileges, you are trashing what my grandparents invested in. Learning the language by being at their jobs. My father, a C student, learning the language at his school with no one to help them. They did it because they wanted to live in America and they followed the law. This offends my intelligence, my sensibilities, and my morality. A good parent would not allow a toddler to dictate, but you're allowing screaming toddlers to dictate to you what our federal system already has as legislation.
Ma'am, thank you very
I would
much.
ask you to ask if you would host these people in your home, and if the answer is not yes, then you should say
Thank you.
no.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy Flesberg. Is-
Hi, my name is Kathy Fleeceberg, and I'm a resident of Huntley. I'm going to talk fast, but I have to say, I was totally blown away when I found out 2 hours before the meeting that this was on the agenda today. You didn't even notify your citizens about this, that you guys were going to vote. And then at the last minute, you guys take it off. I don't understand. Is it going to be put back on the agenda when you vote, or are you going to do that behind closed doors when we don't know about it? I just think it's so disrespectful that you're not considering what we have to say about this. And everything that was approved in 2017, no one knew the invasion that we were going to have from all these countries, 20 to 30-year-old men, single men. I just want you guys to consider this. Laken Riley was just killed in Georgia, a college student. Her parents will never see her walk down the aisle. Jamie Shaw was a teenager who was gunned down because an illegal thought he was a gang member. He'll never, the parents will never see him live his life. Dominique Durden, a 911 dispatcher, was killed in a motorcycle accident by an illegal. A Lake Park High School father today lives in Bloomingdale, was shot in Chicago at a dollar store that he worked at as security by an illegal today. So it's already in our home. You want to bring it to our county. Mr. Lois Wright was shot to, oh, that's the guy that was killed today. Brandon Mendoza, her mother said that, his mother said that her son was killed in by an intoxicated illegal immigrant. Kate Steiney was walking on a pier with her father in San Francisco. She was killed by a bullet from an illegal. She died because of that. 16-year-old Elizabeth Medina died at the hands of an illegal in Texas. She was a cheerleader. She was stabbed to death. Terry and Brenda Ottman from Tallahassee, Florida, were murdered at the hands of an immigrant, illegal. All of these are. Anita Kabi, a teenager, was raped, murdered, and strangled with a phone cord by an illegal.
Thank you, ma'am. Your time is up.
You're not even considering what the retail's going to be like. Who's paying for
Thank
this?
you.
Where are you housing them?
Marianne Nederson. Is Marianne here?
Hi, I'm Mary Ann, and
from Batavia, lived there 30 years, and I've never spoken before the board, but I came because of this hot topic, and I can't say it better than these ladies that just spoke. What happened when the governor or whoever signed us up as a sanctuary city it's kind of irrelevant. And to say that you can't do anything about it is ridiculous. That's your job, is to go out and do what needs to be done. And at the time, we weren't being invaded by millions of people that we know nothing about. There hasn't been proper vetting. These people are allowed to storm our borders. And actually, probably nothing would be done now if they didn't start shipping them up to Chicago, New York, San Francisco. And I'll talk to those people before you decide to vote on becoming sanctuary cities, because a lot of them are regretting their status. Because where are the resources going to come from? Well, I think we all know. You know what? And before you start saying, oh, where's your heart? Where you're trying to, hey, I have a big heart. I'm all for helping somebody out. But I want to know who these people are before I start handing over my money to them. The gentleman who decided to take Lakin Riley's life in my county, it's ridiculous that it's even a consideration to provide a sanctuary city to these people. It's basically a refuge for criminals. It's a ticket for them to kill, steal, do whatever they want. And some of the authorities work hard to make sure that they're not apprehended by the authorities. It's ridiculous. And like somebody mentioned, if you're not willing to have them in your own home, we don't want them as neighbors. I don't know one person that is against legal immigration. I don't know one. But when we're letting people come in here without properly vetting them, that's the number one job of people in leadership positions, is to protect us. It doesn't make sense. And that's all. I mean, I didn't prepare anything. I literally heard about this yesterday, and it's appalling to me that it's even considered to let people come into our counties that we don't even know, and to do whatever they want. And I mean, like I said, ask Lakin Riley's parents how they feel about sanctuary cities.
Joe Gallo, maybe? I can't quite read that. It is either Lalo. No, oh, I'll go to the. I'm going. The next speaker that I have is Tom Zobitz. Tom is gone. How about Dwayne Cheek?
Hello, my name is Dwayne Cheek. I live here in Geneva. I'm not going to try to hang the responsibility of federal immigration law on this body here, nor state law. You can't contravene state law. I understand that. What you can do is protect us. And what you can do is protect Kane County as much as you can. That means protecting our money, protecting our laws, being responsible with the actions that you take and what you do. And again, I agree pretty much with everything that's been said about, the anger of things that go wrong in our country. I serve on a board of our little condominium association, so I take my responsibility very seriously. I hope all of you do too, because we have seen state after state, city after city crumble and go broke and become lawless hellholes. And none of us would like that for this county. It's a great place. So I just want to hand that to you. Take this seriously. Do not do not enhance the immigrants, the illegal people, or whatever you want to call them. Don't enhance their ability to have a wonderful time here while taking money from us, the taxpayers who live here legally. That's what we want from you. We want responsibility demonstrated and shown for us. And thank you for letting, in the red jacket, sorry, I don't know your name. Thank you for letting us know that we already are a sanctuary state. I did not know that. I don't know what that means. I'm going to go try to find out. But just, I'm asking you respectfully, do your job and protect us. Thank you.
Sir. Dwayne, it is called the Trust Act 2017, was signed in August of 2017. You're welcome. Pete Teleraco. Is Pete here?
What time is it?
And I think, do we have, Mr. Roth, how many minutes?
Like 2 minutes left.
Gentlemen, please. And could we have your name, please?
Hello, my name is Elijah Painter. I'm a resident of Elgin, Illinois, born and raised. A few days ago, it was brought to my attention that there were discussions about Kane County becoming a sanctuary county. This is something that myself and other residents of Kane County would find worrisome. If we became a sanctuary county, that would drive the influx of migrants from the city of Chicago into our small suburban communities. And if that was to happen, where would we house these people? How are we going to feed them? How are we going to sustain them? How are we going to pay for this? We have so many other issues within Kane County that we need to worry about instead of prioritizing this. I also want to add to this, there is governments throughout regions of Latin America, Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, Colombia, who are not allowing people in from Venezuela. They are not letting them in. So why are we not taking that as a sign to not let the people from Venezuela in? We don't know where they're coming from. We don't know their background. You know, they come from a country, a communist country where they're, at one point it was expected to give them government assistance. We're not a communist country. We're a capitalist country. We can't afford that. I also want to add to this and how, you know, other people here are saying about the girl from the University of Georgia, Athens, Lakeland Riley. That man came from Venezuela a couple months ago. His brother was here on a fake green card. We don't know who these people are. We can't sustain this. We have the international countries not allowing Venezuelans in. So why should we have to let these people in? That should be facts in our face that this is not smart. This is not sustainable. And, you know, this could bring issues to our community. New York, Chicago, robberies, murder, prostitution, even with the hotels that they're in. This is not safe and sustainable. And I'm going to be very frank and honest with you. A lot of Hispanic people that have been in this country for a very long time do not want the people of Venezuela here. I don't think this is smart.
This concludes our meeting. I wish you safe passage home. There is a massive rainstorm coming with 2-inch hail. So go home safely, please. May I please have a motion in a second?
I'd like to move we adjourn, Madam
Thank you.
Chairman.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.